A month shy of turning 18, my father threw me out of the house. It wasn't a loud, emotional ordeal. No tears, no yelling, just a cold, deliberate act. He stood in the doorway, arms folded, blocking the cozy glow of the house, and said, "Good luck, failure." Then he closed the door, as if I were a stranger he'd never cross paths with again. I stood frozen, clutching my backpack strap, my breath clouding in the icy air. I'd braced for a confrontation, maybe one final shouting match, or my mother stepping in to shield me. But no, it was almost too simple for him to cast me out like discarding garbage. My mother had tried to intervene. I overheard her voice cracking as she begged, "He's still a kid. He has nowhere to go." But my father was unyielding once he'd made his decision. He'd long since decided I was no longer his responsibility. I had no clue where to turn. I had a few buddies, but their parents would pry. I considered crashing at a bus station or lingering in a 24-hour diner all night. Then I thought of my grandparents. They lived roughly 5 miles away, so I walked. 5 miles in the bitter cold, my fingers numb by the time I reached their doorstep. I knocked, half hoping they wouldn't answer so I wouldn't have to explain. But soon, my grandfather opened the door, peering at me like he wasn't sure I was real. "Let me guess," he said, "your dad finally lost his marbles." I nodded. He sighed, stepped aside, and welcomed me in. No questions, no blame, just warmth. That was the difference between him and my father. My dad viewed me as a burden. My grandfather saw me as kin. Life with them was simple. My grandmother ensured I was fed. My grandfather offered wisdom. For the first time in years, I wasn't bracing for the next blow. But a week later, everything shifted again. My cousin Liam called me, chuckling. "Dude, you hear what happened to your car?" My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Your dad sold it," he said. "Didn't he tell you?" Of course he hadn't. My father had sold my car, the one I'd slaved 2 summers for, toiling through grueling shifts at an auto shop to buy. And the worst part, my sister was driving it. Technically, her boyfriend had purchased it from my dad, but she was the one flaunting it, posting selfies behind the wheel like it was always hers. I should have been livid, but I knew how this would play out. She was 19, claiming she was pregnant, and if I confronted her, she'd spin the narrative. She always did. But I wasn't letting it slide. I couldn't. The next morning, I met with my grandfather's attorney. 2 days later, my father got a call, and that's when the real storm hit. I wasn't there when he answered, but Liam, who was present, filled me in. Apparently, my dad picked up the phone, smug as ever, likely expecting a mundane call. Then the lawyer laid it out. Selling my car without my permission was illegal. Since the title was in my name, he had no right to sell it. If he didn't return the money or resolve the issue, he'd face a lawsuit. Liam said my dad lost it. At first, he brushed it off like it was no big deal. But when he realized the lawyer wasn't budging, he flipped, ranting about how I owed him, how I should be thankful he'd raised me for free all these years. Classic. An hour later, my sister called, sobbing. "How could you do this to me?" she wailed. "You know I need this car for my baby." I sat on my grandparents' couch, holding the phone away from my ear. "You're not even pregnant," I said. "Last week you were drinking at a party." She gasped like I'd struck her. "That was sparkling juice," she cried. I didn't bother debating. She hung up on me. I figured my dad would grit his teeth and pay the money back. He despised losing, but he hated legal trouble more. What I didn't see coming was what happened next. That night, Liam texted me, "Dude, your dad's throwing a party." I stared at my phone. "What?" I replied. "He's..." In the upcoming short video, catch the complete story with the channel link provided below.